So today is the 28th of February. Tomorrow it should snow, maybe a little bit tomorrow. It's only snowed a handful of times so far this winter where I'm at. Don't know if global warming has something to do with it. No, I was kind of jealous seeing Michigan getting bombarded with snow. But I know it's weird. I like the snow. Another big reason is because I used to have to work in harsh conditions in the summer where it's extremely hot. So I like this. I like it when it's cold. I mean, if I was in an office job or whatever, I'm sure I would think differently. But since I have to work in extreme heat in the summer, it just gets old. I don't like hot climates. I'm kind of weird. I like snowy days when I don't have to go nowhere. I don't have to do nothing. You know, just sit there, play a game, maybe play some Madden. It's a snow game or something. You know, watching the snow fall. You can see all the trees are bare. But I know it's so weird. You know, just sitting here relaxing, not having to go anywhere, have everything you need nice and cozy in your house. You know, it'd be nice to be able to smoke some marijuana, just to chill out. Nice days like that, I like those, you know. Nice snow day. It is annoying when you have to go somewhere, when you have to go to work, not gonna lie. But you just leave earlier. You have to leave extra early. And the part of the thing with living up north or in a colder environment, you want to have a garage to park your car in, so you don't have to worry about wiping the snow off your car or possibly having to de-ice your vehicle, depending on how whole. I don't think you'd probably get any ice if it's in a garage, but yeah, that's what I would say. If you move up north somewhere, make sure you have some type of a carport at least, because it is annoying having to scrape your windows. Oh yeah, you know, you can start your car, let it heat up or whatever, but yeah, I can't wait until I don't even have to own a car, to be honest. So I'm seeing videos of people say, like, why is it guys approach women anymore? It's not really that difficult, because you don't like regular men. You know, you're just a regular person yourself, and you think that you're some type of celebrity because of social media, all the guys around you. You know, here's the thing. It's so weird. I feel like places I worked before, there could have been some women that, you know, I'm attracted to, but especially after the last, I don't know, since the whole supervisor thing, messing around with my supervisor, that really has made me apprehensive. Like, that could have turned south really, really quickly. But it's not a flex if you have a lot of guy friends, if you're a woman. So like if you're a dude, if you're a woman and you're interested in a guy, and I've been able to tell this before, that certain women are kind of interested in me, but I didn't really make any type of effort. And obviously they're not going to make no effort. And the effort doesn't even have to be that much. I can just tell by the vibe if they're into me or not. But the effort isn't having to come and talk to me. That's not the effort. It's kind of being around me. You know, just working your way around me. You don't even have to sit at my table. You just kind of sit by me, you know, look at me. You don't even have to strike up conversation, to be honest. But it's just that, just little gestures of openness. I don't see it all in public with women. And I don't use online dating anymore because it's pretty much garbage. I don't think that they want people to... I think they just want people to keep using it. And it's one thing for like a complete dating site like a Tinder or something. Because if you have everyone get into relationships and they stay into relationships, they're not going to use your product no more. But like the Facebook dating, that's just like, what are you doing? I don't even use any of it anymore. I don't use Facebook at all. And if I had a girlfriend or a wife, I probably would use it. Or she would tag me, or, you know, it would get more use out of it, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it's just they're not very open. There's a lot of social backlash. It's not just a humiliation of going up to a woman and being rejected. You know, the whole cold approach, just go up to all these different women and ask for their number. You know, that worked back in the day, but if you're an average man and you're trying to do that, you're just really gonna... You're just like humiliating yourself, and honestly, you're setting yourself up to, you know, oh, he's harassing me, or he's a creep. Like, no, we don't want to be labeled as a creep. You know, the same way that women back in the old days, they don't really care anymore, but they didn't want to be labeled as promiscuous. Nowadays, it's like, I guess it's acceptable. For women anyway. But and who am I to judge, you know, because I was promiscuous. But what I'm saying is, in a relationship, they think that they still can be some, like, socially promiscuous, emotionally promiscuous. But they're not very open. They're standoffish. They look like they don't want to be talked to. They just like to, you know, every single time, like I'll walk past older ladies or whatever, and they'll be friendly. But any younger woman, not even like a 20-year-old or something like that, I could tell she's mid-20s, maybe in her 30s, mid-30s. They always look down when they walk past me. It's like, okay. That just tells me, it's like, you keep your head up with a little smile. There's no smiles. And I think a part of that is because of the financial stress on their lives. I think that since a lot of them are their own men of their life, they have a lot of stress. You know, I've heard a lot of different things. I don't know, different statistics from different areas. I don't know if it's true or not, but they say like a quarter of the quarter of women are on some type of antidepressant or something like that. You know, we're pretty much going to go to war with Iran at this point, which is an illegal war, by the way. We haven't had a legal war approved by Congress since World War II. So all of these wars that we've done have been completely treasonous to our country, and we've done nothing about it. It's just nothing. Not a big deal. But you know, all the people, oh, Constitution, this and that one, all these illegal wars that we've been partaking in. Anyway, so, you know, I went to the store this morning. Last week I went and stocked up some more. Like, I went last week and stocked up, and then today I went to the store and got some more canned foods and non-perishable products. You know, dry food. Just a lot of canned products, man. The only thing I need to get is some more water. Just you know, just to prepare, just to stock up. Who knows? I've already, you know, it's like with this inflation, it's supposed to be subsided, but prices are still high. I think gas prices went up by 20 cents on Monday. And we're still in the winter, so like, why is it going up? I thought we're drilling, Trump. I thought gas prices were gonna drop. Nah, none of that shit's fucking happened. So anyway, this woman in front of me, I think she's probably like in mid-20s. She's like getting her groceries or whatever, and she had like a bottle of wine. I'm thinking to myself, I'm hearing all these statistics where alcohol companies have lost like $800 billion over the last 4 years because Gen Z's not drinking. And I'm thinking, are women the only ones keeping up the alcohol companies at this point? I mean, you probably have like frat people and stuff like that. And old boomers. I don't drink. I'm not saying I haven't drank anything for about a year. You know, I'll have a drink. It's not a big deal. It's not like I'm like, oh, I can't have anything to drink. It's just like, yeah, I mean, I'll have a couple shots or a beer or something like that, a beer or two, but it's not something that I'm like, I really want. I'd rather have marijuana, to be honest. But, and I'm just wondering, are women the ones keeping this thing up? Because they're the ones that go to bars, right? They're the ones that go to clubs. They like to go and do these things. What's going on? You know, it's just kind of funny to me to think about that. Women are probably propping up the alcohol companies at this point. And it used to be, you know, well, it's dangerous for a guy. So even if you're both drunk and you sleep together, maybe she got you drunk. You know, maybe you don't even know she's been drinking. You guys are drinking, blah, 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 blah. Wake up the next day. Oh, you raped me. You know. So there's a lot of now this is something that doesn't happen all the time or anything, but it's still a risk for men. Like, we're risking so much to deal with them at this point. And that's why you see a lot of guys just like not caring and walking away, including me. I just don't want to deal with their bullshit. I'm just like, I kind of find them like kind of annoying at this point. And I like when they're around, but they're ultra masculine. You know, they have the dumbest political views. They're usually dumber than me. And it's weird that I used to be a feminist growing up. Now I'm like more of a misogynist, and I'm kind of like accepting that at this point. Like, I'm just better than you. Not in every way, but in most ways, I'm better than most of you. So, not just a better person, but I'm better at most things than you. Most of you women out here. And it is what it is. And you know, you got your outliers who women are faster. Some women are faster runners than me, or because they can jump higher. Or they might be able to lift more weights than me. But when you stack me up, I'm the average guy against the average woman. I'm just better in so many different ways. Like, I completely provide for myself. I raised my kids on my own when they were like 7 and 8, 5 and 7, 5 and 7, all by myself. You know, basically no help. I didn't get any child support. I didn't get any funding from the state. I didn't get shit. Worked a full-time job, raised my kids on my own, cooked meals for them. Not to say that I did like the perfect job. I think I did okay for the cards that have been given to me. Lack of support on a lot of different fronts. But yeah, it's like, why are guys walking away? Why don't guys? No, we want you in our lives. Like, trust me, I want a girlfriend or a wife, but it's just like, you're not humble. A lot of them aren't humble. They have unrealistic standards that they don't even come close to meeting themselves. And then the threat of them leaving me so easily, like they have, it's just, what's the point? Like, I'm at the point, like, I used to love to date. I used to love to go and I used to sleep around a lot. I don't do it no more. I used to do pretty well with women. And honestly, I still could if I really wanted to. All I gotta do is get myself whipped up in shape a little bit. I've kind of been demotivated and haven't really cared about going to the gym or really working out, watching what I eat. Not been fasting like I should. Not been more health conscious like I should. There's different factors. But it's really lack of motivation. And then when I look at these young women, I'm just like, a lot of these red pill guys like, oh, young women, I look at them and like, I'm kind of repulsed by them. I think to myself, well, it's kind of weird because I would be like, even a 25-year-old, I'd be like, 20 years older than anyway. But even if I was to go for, like, there's no reason for me to go for a young woman unless she's got kids, because I don't want kids and I can't have any more kids. But it's like, I don't want to waste anybody's time. I remember when I was dating, I would, I would talk to some women that were close to 40. They didn't have kids, and I wouldn't want to waste their time. Even though they pretty much wasted their own time, I didn't want to contribute to that. So even though that I was immoral and slept around a lot, I did have some type of morals. Didn't mess with people's wives or anything like that. Unless they were separate. If they like were legit separated from each other, that's different. But they're seeing other people. But I would not ever get involved with a married woman like that. But like sleep with them and stuff like that. But it's like, they're just really like, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. and for me, a lot of these red pill guys, oh, you just sleep around, blah, blah. I really don't feel like it. I don't want to. I don't want to take the risk. There's so many risks. Oh, you're a pussy. Yeah, I'm a pussy, whatever. Call me a pussy. I don't care. So what? I probably slept with more women than you. Like, call me a pussy. I'm not a pussy. I just don't care. Like, I have a high sex drive for sure, but it's like, it's not really worth it anymore. They're just not really. First off, they don't feel like they're very attainable anyway. I'm not going to become this ultra Superman Prince Charming while they are a fucking frog. You know what I mean? So for right now, I'm like, I need to get more health conscious. I need to start, working out. But it's not really for them anymore, because it used to be a lot for them. For me now, it's like, I noticed I was walking yesterday at work. I'm like, dude, I can feel some of my fat jiggling. That's disgusting. That's gross. I feel so gross. I'm about 217 pounds, which is very overweight. And honestly, I could keep gaining weight and getting more disgusting, but I don't want to. It's for me at this point. Just like everything in my life pretty much at this point is just for me. And it's what happens is, like I said, if you watch those shows alone, the survival one, when there's nobody around and you have to survive with like 10 items or whatever, the people who make it the longest, they end up just like, all they can do is think, because they have everything taken care of. They don't have other humans to talk to. And I kind of feel like that. I live in a small town, I live in a small town, and even here people are kind of like, they don't want to, they're friendlier, they're friendly, but even I could tell like they are kind of, I kind of get treated the same way as I get treated in bigger towns, you know, the bigger areas, where it's like, I don't live in a really tiny town. I feel like I do from what I'm used to. You know, I don't live in a town with like 1,000 people or something like that, but it's close to 10, it's like 10,000 people, a little over 10,000, and I'm used to about 30, sometimes 70, sometimes 100, you know, and people pretty much treat you like a stranger, which I am a stranger. People don't know me, but still, like, I would think that I would get more looking at me when I walk past them, and I don't, and it's just like, that's the way it is nowadays. So it doesn't, you know, you go on the internet, it sucks. You go in and out in real life, it sucks. So it's like everywhere fucking sucks, you know. If you're in a relationship and you're in a solid relationship where neither one of you are going anywhere, you are blessed, and hopefully you guys can make it work out. Because anyone who's thinking about leaving somebody, it's just, especially if you're older, man, if you're older and you're thinking about, oh, it's gonna be better, unless like they're really toxic, you know, like they're extremely lazy, you feel like you're giving 95 and they're only giving 5% to the relationship, and they're drug addicts, they cheat, they lie, stuff like that, they steal, stuff like that, like, yeah, you kind of, I understand moving on from them because they're just dead weight. But if you you know, if you're giving like a 70% and they're giving 30, you know, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Trust me, you're not gonna get much. It's like, it's like so extreme out here. It's so what it is we have, like Aaron Clary said, we have a lot of Boomer and Gen X fathers who have completely destroyed their daughters. Their daughters basically look at them as ATMs. You know, somebody I used to know, I seen this where her dad would just bail her out all the time, give her money, just like always gave her money. Didn't matter. He would never tell her no. It's like, she doesn't respect you. Why would, if she don't respect her dad, she ain't gonna respect me. That's what I told my kids. I said, hey, listen, if you find a woman and you talk to a woman, especially nowadays, and she has a good relationship with her father and she loves and respects him, not just because he gives her money, but you can tell like she respects him. He's gonna put his foot down. He's gonna tell her how it is. There's a lot of guys out here that are fucking pussies. They're little fucking, they don't want to tell their daughters how it is. They don't want to tell them no. They're just daddy's little princess, and they just ruined it for their next. All they did was ruin it for their potential partner. That's all they've done, because they spoil them rotten, completely spoiled. I don't want to deal with the spoiled woman, man. I'll spoil women in different ways, but like, if all you look at me is like, I've seen some woman post, she posted something like, every man should give his woman like $10,000. Like, what are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? Who the hell can live that life? That's like barely anybody who can live that life. You look at like somebody like Larry Wills, who's blowing up right now for whatever reason, just a lunkhead. And his wife controls him, does all the talking for him. He's so afraid to lose her, and it's so crazy to see him. Look at Larry Wills, you can see how soft he is. Now he could destroy me in a physical bout if he gets a hold of me, but you get to see how his woman runs him. and he gives her like 50,000 a month or something. She spends 50,000 a month. Man, that's over $250,000. That's $600,000 a year. Just 600,000, and I'm sure he pays for all the bills and everything too on top of that. That's crazy. Like, that's so unrealistic. So unrealistic. Man, I made probably like 50,000 last year when I had to sell some of my fucking assets when I went without a job for 4 months, and the rest of the year I worked. You fucking get, jeez. And I think that there's a lot more guys than me than there is those rich people. And a lot of these women just think like, you know, all of the, hey, listen, in order for there to be wealthy people, there has to be poor people. I don't know if anyone knows this. We can't all be rich. But, you know, it seems like women are completely enamored with the sophisticated or shallow life. They're so shallow. Not all, but there's a lot of them are just so shallow. All they care about is possessions, what other people think. There's no humbleness, there's no reality, and that's because of their parents. Just completely spoiled. Like, they don't ever tell them no. They can never do no wrong. They can literally be cheating on a guy, treating him like crap. And dude's a good man. He would be an excellent, like, father to her kids. He would provide them some great grandkids. And she can treat him like shit, cheat on him with multiple guys behind his back, and they will be like, oh, no, it's his. Like, they'll take her side. It's like, no, you're a piece of shit. You're an asshole for doing this. You're wrong. How, you know, there's so many women that are, they don't want to treat you how they want to be treated. You know, how would they feel? Like I said, if Brett Cooper's husband went out and did what she did, how would she feel about that? Going and meeting some young, attractive woman. How would she feel about that? She probably wouldn't like that too much. You know, it's do as I say, not as I do. It's what they get from their parents. From their Gen X and Boomer parents. I think that Gen X needs to be involved in this conversation when people talk about Boomers. There needs to be hate on the Gen X as well. They're not absolved from it. I don't know why people think that they're absolved from it. They are pieces of shit too. They contributed to this problem. Why? Like, did they not exist? Like, are they a lower generation of people? Sure, but they're still in here. They're still in society, contributing to society. So Gen X needs to be held accountable as well with the Boomers, not just the Boomers. Of course, yeah, I got a lot of hatred towards the Boomers, but Gen X is a fucking problem too. And like I said, I'm a part of Gen X. So that's the problem. Nobody wants to take accountability for any fucking thing nowadays, and everyone wonders why everything's shitty, why people don't have any fucking morals. You know, women are shitty because we've allowed them to be shitty, and we continue to allow them to be shitty fucking people. We keep propping them up. You know, they don't work. You know, there's a couple women that do, you know, jobs I do for sure. A couple. Male dominated though. Male dominated. Just like every one of these dirty hard jobs that I've done, there are a couple women that do it, but it's usually because they've made horrible choices with men, and like they're single moms and they're forced, kind of like in my situation with my kids. Not a lot of strong independent women, unless they're like a butch lesbian or something like that. A manly lesbian wants to do the jobs that I do. And it's not like I want to do the jobs. Like, I mean, could sustainably do the job long term. They can go in there for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, but for the most part, they're all doing the office jobs. We're just propping them up, and that's why I'm kind of like, I'm kind of happy that AI is going to take their jobs. What are they going to do? what are you gonna do, strong independent women? Like, when you get fired from your job, you're gonna go to the government. Well, we don't have any more money for you. We can't put more people on welfare at this point. We're just gonna inflate the currency even more to pay for you, making prices higher on everything, and then making people like me not work anymore because it's not even worth going to work anymore. Right now, it almost feels like it's barely worth going to work. There's like a slight hope that things could turn around, hopefully, but it's so dim. And it's basically, at this point, I just don't want to be homeless. If I didn't have to worry about not being homeless, I just wouldn't even fucking work, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't. So since I provide everything for myself, and my kids still underneath my roof, so I'm trying to help them because it's fucking hard out here. It's hard to live on our own, and that contributes to the problem too with the housing crisis. Is we have all these people like me who are single, who should have a wife, but she's out there living on her own somewhere, making the prices even higher. But I also do think that they're artificially inflated. And I do think that is unsustainable because these people, somebody has to pay the property taxes. Somebody has to pay utilities on these houses. They can't just sit there and, you're losing money. You're eventually going to want to get rid of it. You got to maintain it. I'm in a cold environment. You can't just have no power, or else the pipes will freeze and all this. So you got to maintain these houses. So you need somebody to live in there, or you lose it. So eventually, we definitely need some type of correction. And also, it's the illegals that have been here too. That's what contributes to the problem, the housing crisis. There's a lot of different factors. Americans have been fucked, man. Especially people like me who do the right thing. We go to work, we stay out of trouble. We keep our head down. I don't necessarily keep my head down. Well, my head is artificially kept down because of the suppression and my reach on here. But I do speak. I talk about real life things, and but a lot of people, they're like, they live like me, but they keep their head down. They don't say nothing, just keep moving forward. They do what they're supposed to do. They stay out of trouble. And yeah. I figured I'd try something different. We went to going to war with Iran. Might as well be Iraq part point 2. Hopefully it isn't. Dude, hopefully it's just a quick thing. Boom, boom, boom. It isn't no boots on the ground, no occupation, but I just don't think so. Don't think so this time. And I don't know where they're going to get the money from. They're just going to have to print more money out, cause more inflation, put more burden onto the taxpayer, more burden onto the regular consumer. We can't take it much more of this, though. That's the thing, is we really can't take much more of this. And soon we'll just become, it almost feel like we're being squeezed. We're being squeezed out of everything. And it feels intentional, just to be honest. So, Israel, I know this is, I got into some politics. Dude, it's a part of everything that's going on right now. You know what I mean? So, it's like, you kind of can't get away from it. It's a part of our culture, politics, and things that's going on. We're all aware of it, to some degree. And part of that too is, there's women out here that abandon their own family, their own parents, because of their political beliefs. They ain't gonna date some guy because he listen. A lot of these, even if they were attracted to me, and I've had a couple on the dating sites, they were attracted. They see my social media, they ghosted me because they're like, because they're the radical beliefs. And it's like, dude, you could have had a really good relationship with somebody, but you threw it away because you're political, like so dumb. It's like the dumbest thing, really. You know, you can't bend it. You can't like not. You want to be with somebody that aligned with your beliefs somewhat, but you can't compromise. That just shows like the type of person you are. You know, in a relationship, you have to compromise somewhat. Either way, dude. You know, these guys, oh, you can. No, you got to compromise a little bit. You can't just do whatever you want. Okay, there's a little bit of because like you're not one person no more. You might be the leader, you might be the man in a relationship, but you have to compromise on some things, right? Like, do you want you used to go out to the bar all the time? Well, do you want your wife doing that? Do you want your girlfriend doing that? Nah. So there's a little bit of compromise. You treat people how you want to be treated. I'm no longer a single man no more, so I'm going to compromise a little bit because we're a team. And I don't want her to feel like shit. I'm out drinking. You know, I could just be out with my friends in some hole in the wall in the bar, but like she's home by herself, you know. How would she feel about that? So, like all these dude, you're like a child, okay? You're a child. And who am I to say anything? I'm not even in a relationship. I'm divorced, so... And women don't want me, so obviously these guys know what they're talking about. And they're wildly popular, so I guess don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. But, yeah.